Welcome to another episode of Talent Talks. We talk the talk so you can walk the walk. We are here to demystify the journey of recruitment lifecycle from applying for a job to getting a job offer, making it clearer for everyone to understand. Today, we have a very interesting topic in store for you. Stephen Hawking once said that the full development of artificial intelligence could spell end of human race. It would take off on its own and develop and redesign itself at an ever increasing rate, while humans, limited by their slow biological evolution, would not be able to keep up. While some geniuses are skeptical about the next big evolution, there have been some who are hopeful. Larry Page, for example, is hopeful that artificial intelligence could help design the perfect search engine. But wait, is AI really the next big thing, or is it already the big thing? How do we use it to our advantage when it comes to staffing industry? How do we be responsible? Where do we draw the ethical line? Let's find out. Our expert today is none other than Mithal Mandavia. He is not a veteran in the field of staffing industry. He has been successful not only in developing a portfolio of multiple clients and driving them to being productive accounts for us, but also mentoring new leaders for us. Mittal is analytical, critical, and a fan of progress with responsibility. Hi, Mittal. How are you?
Hi, Sudhir. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And thank you for the introduction as well.
Great. Thank you for joining us today. Let's jump
Thank you.
in right into the topic today. What can you tell us about how AI has affected staffing industry?
Let's start with, the basic function of a staffing industry. It's a data-driven industry. The process here is to find, the right candidate from a huge data set and match it to a given job description or multiple job descriptions, right?
Yeah.
So this is an automation process. So AI helps with the repetitive task, right? It can help you minimize that function. Moreover, being a data driven industry, it helps a lot with going through a lot many data to find the right candidate, making your matches to those job descriptions more efficient.
Yeah.
It also increases your speed on how you go sourcing candidates or finding the right fit for the candidate based on how you train the AI, and also helps with the predictive analysis, where you can definitely look into scenarios of what kind of positions you have received. Based on that, what kind of candidates would fit that particular role based on the clients and so on. So yes, if I have to sum it all, it's efficiency, more data oriented, being productive, with and reducing the automation part for you.
Sure. No, definitely. I mean, it has taken all of us not only by surprise, but a pleasant surprise, in fact, because I feel the most beneficial part for me has been how quickly I am able to generate reports of our activities and how efficient the analysis has been. But my teams also have been very happy with the way AI helps in understanding not only the job descriptions, but also the resume. And
Right.
that brings me to my next question. While all this is happening at our end, what is happening at our clients' end? How are clients using AI for their staffing needs?
AI is the next big thing, right? Everyone wants to be a part of it. So yes, the clients are definitely using it. Uh, Again, the data comes into picture. It's more of streamlining the entire recruitment process itself. So that is being done at the client's end as well. You take into account, you want to write job descriptions, you want to make it more cost effective. It does help with this part for the client. Second thing would be that it enhances the candidate screening process with the
Right.
large volume of applicants that they get. Screening for the best candidates through AI becomes much more simpler, productive for them, and the candidates which fit the profile, recruiters reach out to them, and they have a wide idea about how fit the candidate is going to be on how the AI has been set up, right? um, it also increases the matching process to a particular job description as well, right? You take into account the phrases which are there on a candidate's resume, comparing it with what the actual meaning of the job description is, and how that fits and what the candidate has done, and how that fits into the job description is now being taken care by AI to, with the wide range of information that it has. So, yes, it definitely helps with the client end as well.
Right. And I think what is very important for our audience to understand is the r- role and as well as the accountability that our clients have in this entire recruitment lifecycle. While clients are, the hiring managers who represent our clients, they are not just decision makers, but they also are accountable to rest of the stakeholders, that is, staffing companies as well as candidates. They have to make non-biased decisions. They have to
Absolutely.
they have to also make sure that they do this on time. So I think artificial intelligence has given them that leverage or that helping hand, if you will, to make the right decisions on time. The difference between the time earlier and pre-artificial intelligence and post-artificial intelligence is that earlier, the system used to help them just identify if a resume has keywords, but now it is being done with the help of context, the semantics, right? So what does that word mean in the entire resume is being looked at. So I think
Exactly.
we have seen lot of speed when it comes to turnaround time. We've seen that the right resumes, right candidates are being selected. So that's great. With all this information, Mittal, are recruiters and staffing companies using this to their advantage? How are recruiters using artificial intelligence?
So, well, the basic aspect, right, which is finding the right candidate, sourcing the right candidates, that's where AI plays a very crucial role. It helps you in through that large data set that a company would have, or any kind of job posting, job boards, where you're looking for a candidate. It definitely helps your turnaround time for that, and helps you find the right candidate based on the phrases or the sentences with the context, like you mentioned, right? It does help you find those candidates. So sourcing becomes the ace for this one. Um, I think even outreach part, uh, sending out personalized communications to the candidates to apply for those positions also is something where AI comes into picture. Um, Getting more of a talent pool, and being able to manage that with AI is also becoming very effective, and helping not just the ATS part, but also an integrated version into that as an AI does help with the management of that talent pool as well. Um, we talk about skill assessments, it becomes very simpler because of uh, AI database, having that knowledge, that reference points to pull out those kind of resumes which match the job description. So it helps with skill assessments easier. Um, and yes, candidate engagement. You have chatbots, you have, where they can go about get the answers to their questions 24/7 for any job description that they have gone through on the job portal, see if they are a fit for it. So there are a wide variety of those. These are some things that I have on top of my mind right now. So yes.
Awesome, awesome. I feel that with the advent of artificial intelligence in staffing industry particularly, the role and the value of recruiters as well as staffing companies has been kind of highlighted because uh, earlier, it was there was an impression that staffing industries are just, blindly reaching out to candidates, or they're just, capturing a resume and forwarding it to the clients or hiring managers. But there is so much more that staffing companies do, so much value that they add in this entire chain. Right from connecting with the right candidates to explaining what the role is all about, to screening them, to understanding what candidates want, to forwarding the best candidate to staffing to our clients, to also keeping a track of the entire life cycle for all the roles, and at the same time keeping candidates engaged and informed, right? So
Yes.
this has been highlighted because now there has been clear demarcation or segregation of how what role AI can play versus what role a recruiter has to play. For example, while the outreach part or matching part can to some extent be taken care by AI, the core competency of recruiters, which is keeping in touch with the most valuable piece of this entire puzzle, that is the candidates, um, that recruiter has to and are is always going to manage. So recruiters are you using AI for everything else, but to talk to the candidates, to understand how what the candidates are really expecting, to talk to the clients, staffing companies or account managers or client facing account executives. They are talking to their hiring managers and vendor managers to understand what they are actually looking for, and sharing that information with the candidates, matching all this information. That is where recruiters are focusing on while they have AI to take care of everything else. So I think the conversations have increased. Is that is what I'm looking at. So, with so much going on, I'm sure while clients are taking advantage of artificial intelligence, while recruiters are using AI, how do our candidates use AI to their advantage? How can they, stay ahead of the game?
So let's start with, I would say staying informed, right? You should be aware, educated in the field of AI because, every industry is, attracted by AI. It is being influenced by AI. So you want to, step up in the game and, stay informed, use AI, leverage it as a tool to find the right job for yourself. Um, use it to optimize your resume to the best possible way. Yes, it does require that you go over it because nothing is at this point. It's not going to give you the 100% outcome or the perfect resume, but you do need to add in that human touch factor in that as well. But yes, it does help you optimize your resume to a real good level. It can be an asset. You know, everyone is looking for someone who has some experience with AI. It can be
Right.
a skill. It can
Yes.
be something you can put down on your resume. You can use it to develop other skills as well, right? You can leverage AI to learn new things. Um, there are mass amount of courses, videos that go about, how you can use it to find jobs. Let me give you an example of a simple site. It's called glassquid.ai. uh, if you are applying to a position and you
Mhm.
have your you have your resume handy with you, just it allows you to copy the job description onto that page. It allows you to paste your resume onto that, and it highlights how your resume performs towards what the client is looking for. So that helps you add that personalized touch. It gives you feedback which you can use to better your resume. So that's a wonderful thing, right? You can use that uh, to your advantage.
Wow. I'm sure our audience would want to um, you know check that tool you mentioned, GlassQuid, and see how they can use it to their advantage. I'm sure this is going to be very helpful. I would divide this piece of how candidates can use AI into three parts. One is skill development. They can use AI to develop their own skills. The second part is to use tools to help them prepare their resume, and word it correctly, highlight the right part, use tools like glassquid to make sure that their resume matches and highlights the relevant parts. But I would want or have a caution, a piece of caution for our candidates that be authentic on the resume, use it to create the right verbiage, but do not change the essence of or do not lose the essence of resume, which is you. uh, it is your resume as a candidate. It should reflect you and your personality. And the third part is that is preparation for applying for any jobs, which
Exactly.
they can use different tools to that can help them prepare for interviews, that can help prepare them presentations, that can help them practice interviews. So I think our candidates can do a lot when it comes to using technology. And this is like, cell phones, which were the previous revolution in terms of technology. There are so many different models available. They have different functions, different functionalities. Similarly, there are so many AI-driven tools available, which some can prepare you for presentations, some can prepare you for interviews. There are others who prepare resumes. There are some that help you write a cover letter or an email. So, like Mithil said, being aware about different tools is the first step. So, that's great. Mithil, let me ask you this. With so many, advantages, does this tech tool or does this revolution have its own red flags? Can you tell us some of the red flags of artificial intelligence when it comes to staffing industry?
Yes, like every tool or you have, there's always advantages, disadvantages associated with that. The first and foremost that I feel with AI, because it's not developed to that level, right? I feel it's the human touch that is a massive thing that's missing. Though you have Chat GPT and other Gemini and other kind of AIs which carry out interaction, but it doesn't have that feel or the human touch in it, right? That's one aspect. So let's put it into recruitment form. Uh, when you talk to a candidate, it's not just the skills which matter, it's also the soft skills that matter. It only,
Absolutely.
portrays, when you talk to the candidate, that's when you realize, how good he is, or what
Yeah.
are the essence, his communication, his, way of answering, uh, and a lot many things, how he speaks, and so on. Even with a
Yeah.
phone conversation, you do a video conversation with them, it gives you a hell lot of information about, how they react to your questions, how they, perform, and so on. So
Yes.
definitely, when it comes to having that human touch factor, that's one important aspect. Um, Other things that I have seen is, or I feel, being over reliable on the technology, right? I would say use it as a tool. Don't depend on it so much that you forget that what essence you carry for that process, right? Even if it's a simple mundane task, you may want to once in a while take the AI out of it, put in your brains, work things out, and have it done. So that's
Yeah.
one aspect. Um, yes, AI being a big thing right now, it's definitely going to be a cost-effective scenario. So there is always a cost associated with AI. So that's one other aspect. Implementing AI into your ATS system, or um, at the client's end, it's a challenge in terms of coding, in terms of getting that merger happen. Moreover, the cost associated with that also is significant. So that's another drawback that I feel that AI has. Um, Lastly, I would say having that balance, right? It's very crucial between technology and the human factor. Keep that into account when you're using AI, even if it's in staffing. There are not many things which are repetitive, but you want to have that picture, visualize yourself doing it the old way as well. So those are the things that I have. I feel that are sort of red flags with AI.
Great, great. Thank you. I think the biggest red flag, when it comes to artificial intelligence in staffing industry is the sheer pace at which it is coming and developing and redeveloping. Like you mentioned, the implementation and integration part, right? By the time you get used to one tool and implement it, there are five more that are available that can do the same thing, maybe a bit better, right? So implementation of one particular tool, integration with your own technology, as well as standardizing that process across the board becomes a bit complex and challenging. Um, the confidence that you should have in your own abilities versus use of AI, especially when it comes to human intensive tasks like talking to candidates, understanding them, talking to hiring managers, understanding what they want, that needs to be there, right? So that confidence cannot be
Absolutely.
lost. You have to be, you have to have conviction in your abilities as a recruiter to know that you would be able to understand or present the right candidate within the given time frame. So that is very important. Otherwise, you are on your path to lose out that human touch. And I think this is what job seekers should be aware about and take into consideration when identifying the right staffing partner to find a new job, to understand, have a conversation, and understand how they would represent them, and what can they expect out of by working together with them. A lot of times we've seen that job seekers are in a hurry, they don't have time, they don't want to spend enough time with recruiters. But spending these 5 minutes can be very valuable in finding the next
Absolutely.
opportunity. So it's not all that gloomy, Mittal, I believe. Let's talk about some success stories with the use of AI. Can you tell us how have you and your teams used it to your advantage?
So we have been, using AI, and I would say it's at a point where we find it advantageous for us. And in terms of success story, I would like to share about a conversation that I particularly had. Uh, and yes, like I mentioned, GlassSquid is one of the websites that helped me get through the entire process. So uh, I had a candidate, an administrative assistant kind of a role, a simpler enough roles. You have the same duties and everything listed down. Um, and the candidate was looking for a job for quite some time, right? And to get in the job again, um, we had a half-it, a good conversation, and uh, the gist of it was that getting the right resume. She did present it to a lot of companies, but there was no selections and everything. I did route her to GlassSquid. I asked her to, just compare, see how it works out, see what are the things that it suggests. It gave out a few pointers, and she implemented that on the resume. We spoke again. I had, gave out a few pointers that I had. Moreover, ask her to personalize it a bit, make it more relevant and focus to the job description as well. That did help out. She got an interview. She did get hired for the position. Um, I know the client was using an AI system to get through. We had that phrases and everything well put on the resume, not just phrases and like you would put it as skills on your resume. They were properly defined, and the candidate did go one step forward in putting them across in a more personalized manner. Right, that helped a lot. Imagine the level of resume that was. Just a single submission to a client got her that opportunity. So that's I wouldn't say it happens to each and everyone, but it does increases the odds that you might have. Taking help from an AI definitely something that you should consider. So that's one factor that I see good with AI.
Great, great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Like I said in the earlier part of our conversation, the best thing that has happened for me when it comes to AI is, the efficiency and the speed at which I can get the data organized and streamlined. I can get reports and analysis done. That helps me save a lot of time. So it's definitely very useful. Not only the data that I was looking for, but also information that honestly I had not looked at so far. So that has definitely given me a lot of insights. It gives us a lot of time to connect and reconnect with our candidates, keeping in touch with them, understanding them at length and having a conversation and identifying the right opportunity for them. That's for sure. So great. It all in all, it I think looks very promising. And thank you, Mittal, for sharing so much insights. I'm sure our audience is going to be very excited listening to this conversation and watching this conversation. So thank you once again for joining us and spending time with us. To our audience, I hope this has been useful for you. Stay tuned for more such insightful videos in our upcoming episode of Talent Talks. Stay tuned. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.